Hey everybody, it's William Nayrod here, the Paradise Guy.
And I'm Christina.
Hey, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be very interesting to you because we're going to go through the top 10
reality checks. By that we mean when the stuff you don't think about before you get here that you experience only when you get here and you go, oh, well, I didn't think of that. So we're going to think about it for you in advance.
All right, so stay tuned. Be sure to watch to the end. This is good stuff.
Number one on our list is supermarket related, because when you go to a supermarket or a grocery store, typically in Canada or the United States, you expect everything that you want or you need to actually be there. Bananas, carrots, your favorite wine or beer, sausages, bacon, things like that. You take it for granted, in other words. But here in Huatulco in particular, or in Mexico, they don't do the same kind of ordering process. I don't think they use just in time. Out of multiple years of experience, I know that sometimes when I go to the grocery store, they will not have carrots, they will not have sausages, they will not have Vega Modelo or white wine or a certain cheese. So, you know, you go, you plan, you go to the other grocery store if they don't have it, and over time you just find ways to compensate or to substitute. It's a reality, you get used to it, and you know what? It's not the end of the world. And please do not forget that you can go to the local grocery stores or little markets because they have so many amazing things, great produce as well. They might even have products that you will not find in Chedraui or Soriana. So, you know what? Branch out, explore, feel part of the neighborhood.
Okay, so you ever been to a convenience store and it's supposed to be convenient, it's supposed to be fast, it's supposed to be quick. That's why you go in. You want to go in, get your stuff, get out. Well, here we have OXXOs, and OXXOs are a very successful chain. As a matter of fact, they're so successful, they are now supposedly expanding even in the United States. So congratulations, OXXO, you guys are rock stars. But at OXXO, you can do two things that you normally can't do at a convenience store. One is you can pay your utility bills. Yes, you can go pay your electric bill, and it's very simple to do, but you can also transfer money to other people, right onto their debit card, into their bank account. Very simple process, very convenient, and it's something that takes a little while to do. So if you're the one standing behind them with a Coke, waiting to pay and get in and out really, really quickly, you're gonna wait a while, so beware.
Number three. So let's talk about something that is really taken for granted in colder areas like, you know, Canada or the northern United States. Hot water, right? We need to heat our water in cold environments because we would freeze if we didn't have that. Well, here in Huatulco, that's not a thing. It's hot all year round. It's sunny 333 days of the year, man. So it's not every place, not every neighborhood is going to be standard to have a hot water heater. The resorts, on the other hand, yeah, they have all of that. So if you're staying in a resort or by the ocean, usually there's going to be that facility. If you're staying more in the neighborhood, not so much. But you know what they do have? They have cisterns. They usually keep them on the roof. And so what happens is overnight it gets a little cooler, particularly in winter, and your morning shower might be a little frigid. As the day goes on and the cistern heats up with the sunshine, it will get warmer or tepid. So if you take a shower, you know, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll feel kind of good. But this is just something to be aware of. You can't expect to have that hot shower. Will you feel refreshed after a run? If you take a cold shower here, yes, you will. And it's okay.
Okay, so moving on down the list, we're going to talk about noise pollution. Yes, noise pollution is a real thing here, especially in the Huatulco area. You've got neighbors, you've got salespeople, you've got stores, etc., and they've got one volume on their sound systems and it goes to 11. Yes, they like to play their music full blast or not at all. So in our neighborhood, for example, we have somebody that lives across the street from us. They have a little woodworking facility. They like to turn their music up full blast because how else are you supposed to hear it over the woodworking noise, right? We also have people that drive through our neighborhood all the time and they're selling tlayudas or they're selling burritos or they're selling whatever they're selling, but they're announcing it over the loudspeaker. That can be very loud. You're also going to have a lot of speakers in front of stores. So when you go to a store, you know they're open. You know how you know they're open? Because they're going to have a big speaker out in front, turned up full blast, playing some sort of music. Sometimes it's actually enjoyable, but most of the time it actually just hurts your ears and makes you want to go away from the store, not towards it. So be aware of that when you come here things could get a little bit noisy. If you stay in one of the major resorts, just know there's noise there as well, especially during the day. The fun engineers, the people that are there to show you a good time at the beach club or the pool during the day, they play music, they play it quite loud. They want you moving around, they want you having a good time, they want you drinking a lot of drinks and eating a lot of food. So, noise pollution, it's a real thing, now you know.
Next, I'm going to talk about the Spanish that you may have learned in school. Guess what? That's an academic style of Spanish. It's a classic Spanish, and Spanish, in reality, you'll find is a rather regional language. It's spoken a little differently depending where in the world you are speaking it. And so here in the Huatulco area, it can be typically mixed in with a lot of local dialects, indigenous people's dialects. So they're going to have expressions and words and ways of saying things that you were not taught in your textbook or on Google Translate. That's something to keep in mind. Just pay attention to the way people use their Spanish here. Try to pick up a little bit on the lingo. Yes, your classic Spanish will get you your basic needs met, so don't worry about that. But if you want to have a more in-depth communication style, you might want to pay attention just a little bit to the way the locals are actually speaking to each other.
Okay, so the next one we're going to cover is something that can be quite serious if you're not prepared. And that is that there are a lot of stray dogs. These dogs are running through the neighborhoods. Some of them are hungry, some of them are aggressive, and you need to know that there are occasions where people get attacked or their pets get attacked. You also need to know that not many people here pick up after their pets, so you got to watch where you step. Otherwise you can have a foot full of, well, you know what, between your toes. And that's not a fun experience. Another thing you need to be aware of is that these dogs are going to follow you around and go home with you if you decide to feed them. So be very careful about how you feed, how you love, how you take care of, because these dogs are desperately looking for somebody to love them, to take care of them, and or to bite. And you don't know which one that is, so proceed with caution. Now, if you want to get involved in the cause to help rescue some of these pets, please hit us up at info@paradisesky.com. We would love you to do that, because guess what? There are far too many pets on the street that need your assistance, and we would love to put you in contact with the right people to do just that.
Next on our list, let's talk about the word mañana. Mañana means tomorrow, right? So when someone says, yeah, we're coming mañana, we're gonna come tomorrow, and we're gonna get it done. Typically this is with service providers. You might think, coming from another place, that, well, that means they're coming tomorrow because people keep their word in certain places of the world. It's not that Mexicans are not keeping their word, but for them, mañana doesn't quite mean what we think it means. It means more or less when we can. And that doesn't mean that they don't mean it and they're not trying their best to provide that service, but they might be inundated and they want you to stay optimistic about them coming by. So remember, mañana means eventually. And we know this right now because we have been waiting for our internet to be upgraded for a while, and last week they said they would be coming on the Friday, but guess what? They haven't come yet. And you know what? We're not upset about that because we expected it. We know that that means that they're going to come soon and they'll let us know, and fingers crossed it won't be too much longer, but you just gotta go slow but keep moving. This is Mexico.
Okay, moving on down the list. Yes, we're gonna talk about something that a lot of people experience here. Wow, the waves are really getting high. I just got hit by one. Whew, the tide is coming in. Anyways, bugs. Bugs are everywhere. Even today, we're sitting here on the beach. We're enjoying ourselves. I've got a little cocktail with a little bit of cranberry in there, which, as you know, contains high fructose corn syrup. Ants love high fructose corn syrup. So before I knew it, I took a sip of my drink and I had a mouthful of little tiny ants. Not my best sip of a cocktail ever, but it's a reality. In your house, you will have cockroaches. In your rooms, you will see ants. Insects are a part of your life. You will also have no-see-ums, which are the little bitty creatures that fly around. You can't see them, but you can feel them on your skin. And of course, mosquitoes. So the best way to prepare for that is to make sure you have the right creams, you have the right repellents, and that you are not leaving stuff out to attract little insects to your reality. Be prepared, and this will become less of your reality when you're here.
Now let's talk about something nobody ever really wants to do, and that is pay the electricity bill, right? Well, here in Mexico, the good news is all of the electricity bills come from the same place, so they follow a pretty standard format. The not so great news is that that might be very hard to understand if you're not used to it. The electricity company is called CFE, and they actually bill according to the different rates to the amount of usage that you have. So if you're using a little bit of electricity and you're in a subsidized area, that's going to cost less than if you're in a non-subsidized area and you're using a lot. Now, typically in an Airbnb, you will be billed according to the Airbnb rates, but be careful because here's a pro tip. Sometimes the owner of that Airbnb will charge you extra if you go and use more than what they think is okay. So the take home here is that you want to make sure you understand the bill as soon as you move into a place or start staying at a place. You want to talk to the landlord or the Airbnb owner or your neighbors and friends to make sure that you understand what rate you're paying, how much leverage you have in that rate, how much room you have to move, how much usage you can use, and how long it's going to take before you're billed to your next bill, because some billings are monthly, some are bi-monthly, and that makes a difference on your budget, right? So keep in mind, understand your bill when you get here at the beginning. That'll save you a lot of trouble later on.
Okay, next on our list, we're going to talk about residency, passports, identification. It's very important that when you are out and about that you have a couple things with you. One is always make sure you got a little bit of cash on you, because you never know when you might need a little bit of cash. Second of all, make sure you have some form of identification, whether that be a temporary resident card, your FMM card, your passport, your driver's license, whatever it may be. Make sure you got that stuff on you, because you can be stopped at any point in time and asked to produce these documents. And if you don't have them on you, technically, they can take you to jail. Now, does that happen in Huatulco? No. Did it happen in Playa del Carmen? All the time. So we just want to make sure that you know about this, and that if you're coming to Mexico, always play it on the safe side, because you never know when you might have occasion to be able to produce such documents to a local police officer, and that is something that you don't want to happen. So be prepared. As an addition, make sure these are original, not copies, not pictures on your cell phone. You're gonna have to have those. And it could be an immigration officer, it could be somebody at a hotel, it could be the police. There are lots of people out there. It could be the bank that might ask you to produce identification. So just make sure you got that stuff with you, that you secure it very safely so that you can't lose it very easily, and that you're ready to pull it out and produce it if asked.
Now I'm going to talk to something that's a little close to my heart. It's because I have mentioned it in some of our previous videos, which you should go back and watch, of course, here on paradisesky.tv. But I'm talking about cell phone service or data availability. Now, not every beach is going to have it. So what does that mean? Well, it means you get to spend a nice day at the beach not thinking about your phone, not caring about your Facebook feed, your Instagram posts, your instant live, look at me kind of situation, or your Zoom calls with work. You get to disconnect from all of that, and that's actually kind of a bonus. Something that you might have to keep in mind, though, is that you also aren't going to get to call anybody. So if you have a taxi that you want to get in touch with, you might want to plan that ahead. Know your beaches, where it's going to work and where it's not. Watch our videos. We help out with that, of course. For instance, at Maguey, no service whatsoever. You might want to ask the restaurant to help you get back home. But in Santa Cruz or Choway, it's not a problem because this is close to town. Generally speaking, the further away from town you go, the less service you're going to have. So just be prepared for that and plan accordingly.
Okay, last but certainly not least is that, guess what, guys? You've got to be in contact with us before your trip. You got to hit us up at info@paradisesky.com. You got to WhatsApp us. You got to send us a message on Messenger. You got to do something to contact us, because you got to be well advised. Not only from watching these videos, but you've got more questions than that. We know you do. And if you don't have questions to ask, we have more to tell you. So contact us, let us fill you in. And by the way, we want to meet you in person when you come down here. We want to sit down, have a coffee, have a beer, and heck, we might even want to go do something fun together like an excursion. So be sure to hit us up before the trip. And if you get here and you still haven't done it, we'd like to hear from you as well. Finally, if you see us out in public walking around, don't be afraid to say, hey, it's Paradise Sky. Because you know what? We answer to that as well. We'd love to see you. We'd love to help you accomplish your goals. Thank you so much for being a part of another Paradise Sky production here. We really appreciate you watching our videos, giving them thumbs up, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. With that, my name is William Nayrod. Behind the camera right now is Christina, and back in the tent back there is little baby Viva Diva. We appreciate you guys so much. See you next time. Cheers.